Hello and welcome to Rise and Unwind. I'm AV. Each week, we connect with people all over the country to spotlight things you can check out right in your own neighborhood. On this week's show, we've got a little bit of everything, such as this.
You know, New Year's resolutions aren't just about starting these big new habits that we can't keep up. It's really about checking in with yourself and choosing what fits into your everyday life. I always say focusing on small, realistic changes is going to make it so much easier to stay consistent and build momentum.
One of the things that we know is that employers are valuing certificates. So I always encourage individuals, as you're in higher education, as you're getting your degree or as you're getting your master's degree, make sure you're also getting short-term certificates, stackable.
All that and more right here on Rise and Unwind.
This time of year, a lot of people are thinking about their next career move, whether that's learning new skills, going back to school, or finding a better job. But even with a degree or experience, many workers still wonder what employers are actually looking for. Joining us now is Dr. Terrance Hopson, Regional Vice President at Western Governors University, to help break it down. Welcome, Dr. Hopson. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to hear that. So for people setting career goals right now, what's the biggest misunderstanding about being job ready today?
Yeah, I received my degree so I can check that box off and I'm ready to jump into the workforce. And that may be true for some, but the reality is employers are telling us in WGU's Workforce Dakota survey that job readiness today is really about demonstrated skill and the ability to apply knowledge immediately on the job. So how do you take that theory and incorporate that into the actual practice of it? Can you jump in right away and be able to handle complex situations?
And when someone is applying for jobs, what are a few ways that they can help themselves stand out to employers?
Yeah, focus on the skill of the job and not the actual job title. That's really important. Employers are wanting and looking for individuals who can explain a problem that they've solved, right? So what have you done in the past and how can you bring that over here? What were the skills, using that word skills again, that you utilized to examine that problem and fix that problem? And then what were the results or what was the achievements that you yielded from that as well? I think dovetailed into that is also this thing that we like to talk about, which is certificates. One of the things that we know is that employers are valuing certificates. So I always encourage individuals, as you're in higher education, as you're getting your degree or as you're getting your master's degree, make sure you're also getting short-term certificates, stackable certificates that stack very well alongside your degree. And really what that does is it sets you even more apart from the rest of the competition.
So are there any tools or resources that make it easier for people to turn education and training into real career progress?
Yeah, career progress. I would say the first thing is make sure you choose a degree program that's aligned to a high workforce need area. At WGU, we offer over 80 degree and certificate programs that are aligned to this. I would also say take advantage of LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning is a really good tool that you can use to help you hone in more on skills that you have or learn new skills. Again, it's so important that you talk about skills when you're going in here to try to get jobs. Importantly, it's also noted that you should talk to career services. And why is that so important? Is because career services are going to be the individuals that are going to make sure you have those employable skills, those soft skills that you need in order to land those jobs. And at WGU, we have a very robust career services department, and their sole mission is to support our students and alumni not only while they're at the university, but also post-graduation as well.
And I know from personal experience, going back to school or switching careers can feel like a lot. How does mentorship help people stay motivated and stay on track?
Yeah, mentorship is really important. When individuals are in school, they're juggling a lot. Some are working full-time, some are single parents. And then life just happens with a lot of people, right? So mentorship is critical. And at WGU, all of our students are partnered with a program mentor from day one. And these program mentors are coaches, they're motivators, and they're going to be the individuals that are going to work with our students to ensure that they're making on-time completion. And what I really love about this model is not only are they content experts, but they've also worked in the industry as well. So what that means is that our students have another resource as they are going along in their collegiate journey. And what that does for our students is if they have a question about workforce or they have a question about job training or job readiness, this mentor can help them with that. If they have a question as it relates to curricula, they don't necessarily understand the concept or they can't figure out how to grasp a different portions of the curricula that mentor is also there to guide them and help them as well.
And where can our viewers go for more information?
Yeah, for more information, you can go to wgu.edu.
Dr. Hopson, thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
By now, a lot of people are realizing the hardest part of the new year isn't starting, it's sustaining. Feeling better doesn't have to mean a total overhaul. That's why we have TV host and lifestyle expert Jamie Hess here with a smarter, more realistic approach to wellness. Welcome to the show, Jamie. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you here. You know, people love a fresh start, especially at the beginning of the year, but a couple weeks later, consistency is the challenge. So what do you think helps habits last?
You know, New Year's resolutions aren't just about starting these big new habits that we can't keep up. It's really about checking in with yourself and choosing what fits into your everyday life. I always say focusing on small, realistic changes is going to make it so much easier to stay consistent and build momentum. And that is where Target can be a partner on your wellness journey. You know, the retailer is entering a new era in wellness, expanding its assortment by 30% with thousands of new items under $10. So Target's really simplifying what's defining wellness for 2026 with a curation of the newest trend-forward and budget-friendly options, which really just makes it easier to find what works for you.
You know, when schedules start getting packed, what are a few wellness habits that still just feel doable?
A big wellness trend right now is just about getting back to basics, being more intentional about those everyday choices, things like gut health, beverages with benefits beyond hydration, and convenient protein. For me, it all starts in the morning with those simple swaps that kind of help set the tone for the day. My new favorite gut-healthy breakfast is the Coconut Cult Probiotic Coconut Yogurt with flavors in single-serve sizes that you can only find at Target. Now, I also like switching up my morning coffee with something called Rise Mushroom Coffee. This just feels more balanced than my usual cup, which I really appreciate on busy mornings. And then later in the day, when I'm craving something sweet, like that 3 o'clock thing, I reach for a Misfits plant-based protein bar. It is so tasty. It tastes like a candy bar, but it's also packed with protein.
And you talk about pressing reset instead of restarting. How does that change the way people think about wellness?
Let's talk about self-care, because I feel like some people can look at it as a chore, but it really works best when it's simple and realistic. I personally gravitate towards routines that don't take a lot of time, but still feel intentional, like a little me time. And Target is a great place to discover those self-care essentials. So my new favorite is a Target exclusive. It's the Remedy Skin 3-Step Skincare Kit. So this is formulated by a dermatologist named Dr. Shaw. You might have seen him all over TikTok, but it includes a cleanser, a vitamin C brightening serum, and a moisturizing cream, which just helps take the guesswork out of skincare. Then for a quick moment of self-care during the day, I also love the Prequel Multi-Quench Hydration Face Mist. This just fits seamlessly into my routine. And then let's talk about routines for families, because I got 2 little boys, so my house is crazy. So having those everyday staples around the house matters. And Target expanded its assortment with solutions for the whole family in mind, like the Tubby Todd All-Over Ointment, which is just one of those great do-it-all staples. It's a rich, creamy balm made with plant-based ingredients. And finally, while we're talking about the kids, my kids love something called the First Day Kids Multi-Gummies. These fit easily into busy family routines. They're delicious gummies, and they're made to fill those common nutrient gaps and support energy, focus, and immune health.
All right, so what are some everyday ways that people could just stay active without adding more stress to your life?
It's a great question. People are always asking me how to stay motivated. I have a great life hack. You ready? Get a fun new workout outfit. That's it. You put it on and you're like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. It just feels more doable. And lucky for us, Target just launched a bright, colorful mix and match collection from Joy Labs. They got this really cute piped sports bra that I'm loving, paired with the matching high-rise piped leggings. You know, it's great for workouts, but it's also great for errands and just everything in between. And Target's going to be adding more than 1,000 new apparel and accessories items throughout the year, so you can refresh your gear with the seasons.
Jamie Hess, I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. Where can some of our viewers go for more ideas, inspiration, and information?
Yeah, you can find everything we talked about today at Target stores, on Target.com, or in the Target app. It's a great place to just explore affordable, everyday wellness options that fit into your real life.
I want to thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
A lot of women set big health goals for the new year, but urinary health often gets overlooked. UTIs are incredibly common, and for many women, they can be a frustrating cycle. Joining us to break it all down is board-certified OBGYN and medical advisor at UCORA, Dr. Alyssa Dweck. Great to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So why are women so much more likely than men to experience UTIs in the first place?
Yes, women definitely are at higher risk for urinary tract infection for a couple of reasons. First, their urethra in women is much shorter than it is in men. This allows an easier track for bacteria to get to the bladder and cause infection. Also, women traverse so many hormone changes through their reproductive lives, and that can also increase risk of urinary tract infection.
And for women who keep getting UTIs, how can shifting towards prevention make a real difference long term?
Oh, prevention is so important. First, it's important to know that 60% of women will experience at least one UTI in their lifetime. And many women do have recurrent infection. So some tips for prevention include wiping from front to back when using the toilet, hydrating aggressively on a day-to-day basis with water to mechanically flush the urinary tract. Also, urinate after sexual activity. This mechanically flushes bacteria from the urethra in an effort to decrease risk of infection. And finally, I recommend considering a supplement from over-the-counter like Eucora Flush Advance Plus, which has clinical dose cranberry. And that has been clinically shown to diminish the risk of recurrent urinary tract infection and is part of a preventative program advocated by the American Urological Association. This supplement also contains D-mannose, which helps to quickly flush the urinary tract, so it works with dual action.
And when symptoms first start, what should women do right away, and how do they know when it's time to go see their doctor?
Yes, well, most women who have ever had a UTI are all too familiar with the symptoms, urgency, frequency, and pain with urination. I usually recommend hydration right away, supplementing with clinical strength cranberry, as mentioned, over-the-counter analgesia for any discomfort, and checking in with your healthcare provider for any concerns, but definitely for fever, blood in the urine, or back pain.
And I've heard cranberry comes up a lot in these conversations about urinary health. What does the research actually say about how it works?
Yeah, it sure does, and that's because it's evidence-based. So cranberry has an ingredient in it called PACs. This naturally makes the bladder wall, the inside of the bladder, more slippery to the infection-causing bacteria called E. coli. If E. coli can't adhere or stick to the bladder, there's a less chance of infection. So this is highly recommended.
And if women want to learn more, or as you said, take a more proactive approach, where should they go for more trusted information?
Yes, please visit eucora.com. We have lots of information, both about product offerings, but importantly about general urology health and also community.
Dr. Dweck, I want to thank you for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
You ever wish you could see what the future of our planet might look like and meet the people building it right now? Season 2 of the Visionaries with Zay Harding takes us on that journey from remote landscapes to busy cities, showing how inventors, scientists, and everyday problem solvers are tackling today's biggest environmental challenges. So joining me today are Zay Harding and series executive producer Thais Lopez Vogel from Volo Foundation. I want to welcome you two to the show. How are you guys?
Thanks. Yeah, we're doing great. I like that intro. That's great. Like seeing into the future, all of these people that we feature actually have that vision. They're able to somehow see this happening just from an idea. So we jump in right as they're making it happen, which is really exciting.
And season 2, it's about to launch. What should viewers expect this time around?
More of the same, but further. We're taking things further. So a lot more initiatives. We're traveling around the U.S. currently. Still, we're still hitting up some incredible. We're looking right now at the first ever electric tugboat. They're taking all the technology from our electric cars, and they're able to do stuff they've never been able to do before. Because all that money and research has been invested in electric cars, now they're able to put it on boats, and they're quiet. They're better for the environment. They're not leaking anything. This is a hybrid plane over here. So you've got half electric, half fuel. This is Ed Begley. He's got his home, completely sustainable. Those guys are in Keep Tahoe Blue in Lake Tahoe. They've got a B-bot, a beach robot that roams around 54 miles cleaning up. This is a kid who does a recycled battery program. This guy has an electric stove. I mean, there's all kinds of, we cover all the bases in every which way. This is a girl taking fish scales and turning them into plastic. There's
we're not going to tell you everything that's in season 2. You have to watch the show.
But there's a sneak peek.
I guess out of all I guess out of all of the stories that you guys filmed, was there one that has really stuck with you personally?
Yes. I mean, all of them are. The seashells one really hits me. Actually, you know what? I'm going to tell you one that was really, really amazing. In Louisiana, there's a recycle place that's taking the glass and they're just pulverizing it into sand-sized glass. And they're taking that and they're filling up, they're building little islands within all the bayous because those have been really messed up from the salt water getting into the fresh water, and it's killing all the cypress, which was giving the foundation for the islands there. And they're able to use this glass to create a sand and rebuild these islands, and plants are growing in them. So it's really making the area stronger for storm surges, flooding, and what a great way to keep the glass off landfills as well.
I love the ones that include the kids. I remember in season 1, there was a kid that was 12 years old that with a drone, one of his toys, he can detect the tornado coming into his town from 45 minutes before. So the kids are very engaged too in this show.
We do feature a lot of kids, which is exciting because they don't know the limits yet, which is really empowering because basically they say, why aren't we doing this? And someone says, well, because of this, and he says, well, then let's make it happen. We need it, so why aren't we making it happen? I mean, as a kid, you're taught that.
Yes,
and so they've got that great fresh mentality, and they're really pushing boundaries. This one kid was using sunlight and figured out if he mixes in titanium chloride, which I don't even know how he figured that out, just online research, which they're all doing. He's able to capture microplastics, which is a real issue. We're all eating microplastics.
We're inhaling microplastics,
yeah, they're
eating credit cards.
Yeah, there's a credit card size of plastic in each of us on average in our brain right now because of all the microplastics. And he's figured out how to capture that in water and then get rid of it. So there's all kinds of these initiatives that you can expect in season 2.
And one of the big themes here is inspiring people to take action. How do you hope the show motivates viewers to get involved?
Well, I think not only they're showing you, they're connecting the real solutions in real time with a hopeful, actionable results, and everybody can do it. So I think not only is an entertainer, the entertainer is very entertaining, it's a very upbeat show, and it can engage all the family, not only the kids and the adults. And it tells you don't have to be a scientist or an engineer, you just have to care enough. It's only when we care about our future that we invest in it.
It is real people, and that's a really good point. It's not anybody preaching, any companies doing anything. It's just people trying stuff that they're finding that are working. And so we're featuring that to hopefully inspire not just the viewers, but other people who are doing this so they can collaborate and start taking things further. We were just in Florida, and this guy's doing a sea hive, which is like a beehive design, which is so clever because they don't need anything to hold it together but weight. And they're using sustainable concrete, these designs that are hollow for fish to swim through. They've got holes in them to dissipate water and wave energy, and they put these right up at the bays, so it's protecting them from storm surges and flooding.
They plant the mangroves on top of it.
Yeah, it's creating ecosystems within. If it's not there, they're creating it, which is incredible. And they're teaming up with someone from season 1 who was doing sustainable seawalls, and they're working together now with 3D printing of this stuff. So it's really exciting to see
the connection, and the collaboration.
That's completely coming out of our show.
And you guys shine a light on innovators who may not always get that mainstream attention. Why is that so important right now?
I think that when you highlight innovators, not only they can partner, they get partnerships, they get funding, they get policy, they can get more research, the research can advance. And not only that, for you as a kid especially, being highlighted in a program like this, I mean, it gives you all the hope that what you're doing is gonna get you somewhere in the future.
And if somebody wants to learn more about the show or the work that Volo Foundation is doing, where is the best place to start?
At any platform, we have volofoundation.org, we have Visionaries TV. You can Google any of these platforms and you'll find us there.
Yeah, and then watch the show on Saturday mornings on CBS. There's CBS.com and also Pluto TV.
Hey, I want to thank you two for joining me this morning.
Thank
you,
you very
Dan.
much.
From pop hits to powerful faith-filled anthems, Stars Go Dim has built a global following. Now, frontman Chris Cleveland is back with a brand new album called Roses, a project years in the making that blends retro grooves with heartfelt lyrics. He also just celebrated a milestone moment with his debut at the Grand Ole Opry. Chris joins us now to talk about it all. Welcome to the show, Chris. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Roses, it was just released. What was the inspiration behind this album, and how does it reflect where you are right now in life?
Oh, so much. I think anytime with music, the best way to make it is to make music that means something to you in the moment, and just to be as honest as possible. And so this record is the first record I produced 100% myself, and so it's the most authentic me record. It's really vintage, it's really soulful, it's vibey, and then just the content of the album is all about just taking a step back, like really slowing down and seeing like the greatest pieces of life are in these small moments that sometimes if we're too busy we just fly past. And so hopefully as people hear this, they have a really good time as they listen to the record, but they can also slow down and enjoy those small pieces and moments of life.
And the album, it mixes faith and everyday life in a really unique way. Can you share how your songwriting process brought those themes together?
Absolutely. I think with this album, I wrote every single song from one question. It's a question I've asked myself a lot of times, especially if you're a person of faith, is like, in the very best and in the very worst of life, how does this thing work with God? Like, how does he meet us? Does it? And these songs are kind of answers to those questions. And as I went through, I think I realized more and more, especially with my co-writers, that I think God meets us the most in these seemingly small moments. And not saying that these big, huge miracles and things can't happen. It just hasn't been my experience in life. But what I have seen is the incredible joy, the incredible love, the incredible life, the incredible faith through those small moments. And so that's what a lot of these songs, every song, is all about.
And also, congratulations on making your debut at the Grand Ole Opry. That's pretty massive. How was that night like for you?
Incredible. You know, I've been traveling and playing since I was 10 years old. I turned 40 this year, so 30 years. And so it felt like a really awesome celebration of a career. And I grew up in Oklahoma, and so my grandma was a songwriter. And so I've always been aware of the Opry and how much it meant. And so my family and I have lived in Nashville now for almost a decade. And so to be able to walk on that stage where so many people have been before, it was a really special moment.
And one of your standout tracks is your song, which you dedicated to fans. What is some of the what is that connection with your listeners mean to you?
Everything. I think I wrote this song specifically for people. Like, if you've ever needed just a song to make you feel better than you do right now, that's what your song is all about. From the lyric to the feel, as soon as it comes on, you just want to crank it up, throw the windows down, and just blast it. And hopefully when you do that, you're going to feel better once the song is over than when it started. And that's what your song is all about, just to make you feel great.
Chris, thanks for joining me this morning. Check out Chris Cleveland's new album, Roses, from Stars Go Dim. It's out now everywhere music is sold and streamed. For more information on the music, videos, and tour dates, just go to his website, starsgodim.com. Thanks for joining me this morning, Chris.
You bet, man. Thank you.
What does it take to stare down a one-ton bull and hold your ground 8 seconds at a time? In Not Her First Rodeo, we follow the real lives of elite lady bull riders, women who are rewriting the rules of rodeo and risking it all for the win. As the heart of it is four-time world champion Jordan Halverson, who's not just riding, she's basically leading a movement. She's here today to talk about the new docuseries, The Grit It Takes to Make It, and why this really isn't her first rodeo. Welcome to the show, Jordan. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Rodeo has always fascinated me, and actually, I have my own belt buckle. I did ride a bull once. I fell off in the first few seconds. So this is basically a participation trophy for bull riding. So, hey, you're a 4-time world champion. Can you take us back to the beginning, like the days that you first started out? What made you get into the bull in the first place?
You know, like it honestly for me started by chance. I grew up riding hunter jumper horses, a little bit wild, a little bit smaller than some of the other riders. So I was actually riding naughty horses and ponies. And we had a buddy that said, "Hey, what do you think about riding a bull?" And I obviously said yes. And yeah, same thing. I fell off very fast the first time, but it was just more of a bucket list thing for me. And that's how I started. And I was hooked and kept going back week after week after that.
Yeah, I told the guy, how do I get a buckle? And he's like, well, you have to ride a bull. I was like, come on, man. I was trying to like catch a greased pig, go like lasso a sheep or something. Because I grew up in ranches and stuff with my family. So they stuck me on a bull. He's like, if you get on this bull in a rodeo, we'll give you a buckle. So they did this whole participation trophy thing. So I get it. I love it. This show really captures the risk and realities of the sport. What do you hope viewers take away from watching your story?
I hope they take away that, you know, you can do anything in life. You know, don't be afraid to follow your dreams, you know, push through any kind of boundaries there are and just live a life that you want to live.
And you also started your own all-women's bull riding league. What inspired that and how has that actually grown?
So they actually used to have women's rough stock riding events in rodeo, you know, a long time ago, early 2000s and prior to that. And so when I had learned about that several years after I started riding, you know, we had been kind of working towards bringing that back that they used to have for women to be able to compete against other women in the sport of bull riding.
And how do you go about mentally preparing, doing bull riding each time? I was scared as hell, but how do you go about doing it because you know what's at stake?
You know, I just think about the challenge, think about what I've got to work through. And for me, all the preparation that goes in beforehand helps me mentally. If I feel physically ready, mentally ready, like it helps every time I go to get on.
And the show also highlights, it's not just a sport, but kind of like a sisterhood. What has the community of women in bull riding meant to you?
You know, we all have our different struggles and you can always learn something from another woman, whatever they're going through. And, you know, whether that be in our riding or in our everyday life, you know, we've just learned to, you know, help each other out and grow as we grow in this sport.
Jordan Halverson, thanks for joining me this morning. You got to catch Not Her First Rodeo. It's a new 6-part docuseries from ABC News Studios, premiering on Freeform with 2 back-to-back episodes. Then you can binge the whole full series on Hulu. Thanks for joining me this morning, Jordan.
Thanks for having me.
That's it for this week's Rise and Unwind. I'm AV. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you want to keep up with the show, then you can find us on social media. Just search Rise Unwind on IG or Facebook. We've also got YouTube at Rise Unwind. You can find everything in one place at riseunwindtv.com. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk at you soon.